Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I haven't done a recovery video in quite some time since this whole election thing with Donald Trump. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. And as always, the point of this video is that recovery is possible. I am a recovering heroin addict with over 18 years clean and sober. I've been clean since October 23rd of 2006. I started out using other drugs, cocaine and rock, and eventually became cross-addicted to everything. And I want to talk a little bit about this and try to stress a point. I'm going to share with you an embarrassing story. This is a totally true story. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is to make a point. And hopefully people out there will understand. All right, I can't wait for January 20th for Trump to take the presidency, and I am dying to see how he is going to, well, number one, how he's going to stop the flow of drugs into this country, namely opiates. But more than that, I am more interested in seeing how he is going to cure the thousands upon thousands of addicts living in this country. Because the point is the health and the overdoses in this country is the point. I would hope that's the point. Not just trying to stick it to Mexico or whatever. Let me say this: being a recovering addict, if an addict wants to get high, they will get high. And I'm going to share a story with you. It's a very true story in a second. The second thing is, where there is the demand, there will always be a supply. If you can see my point here, until you cure the disease of addiction, trying to stop the flow of drugs into this country is pointless. Mainly because a lot of these drugs come through boats and the mail, a good portion of these drugs. So from what I see Trump talking about, it will have no effect on this. I'm going to share with you this story. What I said about addicts, if they want to get high, they'll get high. And I went to California. I went to San Jose, California in the fall of 1989. And back then, that's when I was in the height of my addiction to cocaine and rock. Okay. And I flew out there, and I was staying out there for about 10 days. And of course, the first night I get there, me and my buddies all start drinking, and I get the craving for my drug of choice, and I cannot find it because I have no connections there. And this is what I ended up doing. This is what I'm saying. If you cut off, if Trump even manages to slow down the flow of opiates into this country, there's going to be thousands of desperate addicts taking crazy chances and doing crazy things to continue their addiction. That's my point. And if the goal of Donald Trump and everybody else is to the health and curing addiction, then there's still going to be a problem. Okay, so I couldn't find my drug of choice, and this is what I'm ashamed to admit this, but this is what I did, because I could not find cocaine that night. I had been drinking. I went to the convenience store, and I found caffeine tablets, I think it was a bottle of maybe 50 tablets. And I went back to the apartment. I crushed them up and I snorted them. I ended up in the hospital. I ended up passing out. My heart started pounding. I went unconscious. They took me to the hospital. I was in ICU for 3 days with heart palpitations and high blood pressure and all this other stuff. And I almost died. But this is what I'm saying. When, if you don't, just slowing down or stemming the flow of opiates into this country, even if they can do it, even if Donald Trump can do it, you're just going to be left with a lot of desperate, crazy people still suffering from the disease of addiction that are willing to do anything to satisfy these cravings. If your goal is the health of Americans, and not just theoretically stemming the flow of this one particular substance from Mexico, then you're going to even have a bigger problem. That's my point. The disease of addiction is the problem. Once you start helping people with addiction, the demand will go down. When the demand goes down, there's no need for a supply. That's how you do it. Recovery is possible. Have a good Thursday.